What's going on, everybody? Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the Building and Becoming Show. What is our mission? We're building a foundational faith in Christ while becoming strong, fit, and capable in all areas of life. So before we jump in to this solo cast, a couple things. Follow me on Instagram. I'm at Real Jim Moats. On there, you can check out our online school community. Are you guys familiar with school? SKOOL. You should check it out and engage with us as we build our multifaceted personal development platform. There is something for everybody out there. I appreciate you joining us on the podcast, but it is not the only thing that we do. It is just one of the things that we do as we strive to provide tons of free available content for everybody out there that is interested in personal development, growing in their faith and fitness, and getting our views on some social issues, which is what we're going to dive into today, because sometimes we pause from our usual faith and fitness topics and go deeper into some important issues that affect all of our lives. So that's what we're doing today. I wanted to have a discussion with you guys, and I've been putting it together for a little while because I wanted to make sure that I was articulating my thoughts clearly, concisely, because I've been asked about this a lot, and everybody's got an opinion on the things that we're going to talk about today. So I thought I would address a couple of those topics on this show. So you ready? Ready to buckle up and see if you agree with me? Maybe you don't agree with me. Either way, I'd like to see some constructive things in the comments. There's a lot of hate flowing around, and I don't think there's any place for that on either side of these issues, but I'm open to debate and learning from you guys. I think that's when the dialogue stops is when the fighting starts. So we don't want that. We want to learn from each other. We want to be respectful of each other's views and opinions, and hopefully get better as we are having open dialogue. So let's go. Okay. Immigration. Dun, dun, dun. Immigration has divided this nation, especially fairly recently. So I think it's important to discuss, and I'm going to give you my feelings about it. So I'm going to be referring to some notes a lot. Those of you on YouTube are going to see me going down to my paper quite a bit because I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything and that I'm staying on message, because I want to articulate this in a way that really expresses my heart, and I don't want to bring emotion into it. So here we go. Here are my feelings. This country was built on immigration. Immigrants are important. Immigrants matter. Immigrants are needed. Okay. For 4 years, the Biden administration allowed unchecked, undocumented immigrants to flood into our nation. That is not only unacceptable, but it's dangerous. Its ramifications will be felt for perhaps decades, and our nation is far more vulnerable to violence and terror attacks than at any point in our history. Something needed to be done. We had an election in November. Our nation overwhelmingly voted for the candidate who promised to secure the border and tackle the immigration mess. So I'm going to get to my solution shortly. Okay. But first, ICE isn't out there acting like the Gestapo, going door to door and just rounding up randos. That's not happening. They are tasked with an important and dangerous job. That job is enforcing laws that are currently already on the books. So let's be clear here. New rules haven't been written or invented or implemented. Old laws are being enforced. Now, to those who disagree with this enforcement and wish to use their First Amendment right to protest, I say freaking go for it. That is a crucial part of our democracy. You should exercise that right. To those who want to burn cities, loot businesses, spit on and assault law enforcement officers, I say you are part of the freaking problem. Okay? Rest assured, you're going to be dealt with swiftly and punished to the full extent of the law. Our Attorney General, all the way up to our president, have made it very clear that behavior is not going to be tolerated. This isn't the so-called peaceful protests in the summer of love of 2020, where it was okay to cause billions of dollars of damage and burn down parts of our country. Those freaking days are over, everybody. I'm going to give you an analogy that I think is going to help express my views on this issue. So we can agree, everybody, I think, that you need a driver's license in this country to legally operate a motor vehicle. And that when you're operating that motor vehicle, there are traffic laws and speed limits, right? Let's just live in a world where, say, in my state of Nebraska, an extremely progressive administration took over and they decide to instruct law enforcement to stop pulling people over because he or she thinks it's a violation of their rights to pull people over and to check for driver's licenses and proof of insurance. And it's even going too far to ask them to obey the speed limits. Okay. So it's just, we're not enforcing that stuff anymore. So on the roads, since speed limits aren't enforced and people are driving cars that have no idea how to do it and they haven't proven they understand the traffic laws and how to operate a motor vehicle effectively because we don't check for licenses anymore, there's tons more accidents, insurance rates go up, fatalities go through the roof, travel becomes untenably unsafe. Okay? So this is this progressive utopia that a lot of you dream of, where just anybody can do anything. And if you enforce laws, you're some sort of Nazi or tyrant. Okay? Now let's fast forward to a time when a new regime is elected in this state, a law and order leader, we'll call them. They're elected by the populace because the populace is sick of the situation on the highways. And you see, law enforcement is now told to aggressively enforce laws, ready for this, that are already on the books. These aren't new laws. You need a license, there's speed limits, and there's traffic laws. Okay? So people are now being pulled over, checked for driver's licenses, ticketed for speeding, and at times they're arrested and thrown in jail. Now, some are going to be angry at that, right? Mostly those who are what? Lawbreakers. After an uncomfortable season, though, and cleaning that mess up, the roads will be safe, law and order is restored after the citizenry understands there will be consequences for the actions of breaking these laws. It's the same for our border policy. Okay, these border laws are already in effect. You're breaking the law if you're here illegally. The left progressives don't want to hear the term illegal. Okay, these people, we don't want to refer to people as illegals, but we can agree if they're here illegally, they're already committing a crime. Okay? Now, that's my view on that. That being said, I think there is a better way to go about this. Okay? I'm not a dude who just complains and criticizes without offering a solution. So I have a solution, okay? Here it is. Grab your pen, hit record, whatever you want to do. I'm about to fix immigration, okay? So throwing good, contributing people in jail or deporting them is absolutely not the answer, okay? I don't like seeing people live in fear, living in the shadows, and good people that are going to work every day, trying to raise their kids and doing the right thing. Although the right thing would have been trying to become a citizen, I don't think they should just be rounded up and tossed out of here, okay? So there's a better way. Good people who've made the poor choice of not attaining their citizenship should not live in the shadows nor in fear, but they are breaking the law. The process needs to be expedited, it needs to be available, and it needs to be affordable for everybody. So any barrier to doing the right thing is removed from the scenario. The process is a mess. It takes too long. It's too difficult. It's hard to understand. And I can empathize with people struggling to get on board and go through everything that it takes to become a citizen right now. So our government needs to come up with, I'm going to guess, around $1 billion for my plan. Okay. I got the $1 billion plan here. So what that $1 billion goes to is its extra staffing and infrastructure, because we're going to set up a vetting process very similar to what it takes to get your TSA pre-check if you want to go to the pre-check line when you go to the airport. Here's what you do. You fill out some stuff online. You set an appointment at a local office. You go in there and you interview with someone for a few minutes. They take your fingerprints. They complete a background check. And in about 10 days, you get your known traveler ID number sent to you. And now every time you fly, it's on your boarding pass. It's got a pre-check on there. You pay a certain amount of money every so many years to keep that active. and you get to go to the shorter security line. You don't have to take off your shoes and your belt and your hoodie and all that stuff. Okay. So, all those that are here illegally and wish to stay and assimilate and contribute to our society, I would say to them, you have a certain amount of time to go through this expedited process. Perhaps you need to get started within 30 days. Okay. That'll earn you your U.S. citizenship, all without criminal records. Okay. Those are people that are here that don't have criminal records, either here or in their home country, will be eligible for this program. Any with criminal records or who wish to leave must do so within a 90-day period. I'm going to give them a 90-day grace period to get their affairs in order and get gone. All those remaining after that will be rounded up, arrested, and deported swiftly, even if it means being separated from their families. Okay? So we give them a month. Go through this beginning online TSA process, so to speak. Get your known traveler ID number, which now is going to be a citizenship number, and you're good to go moving forward. All right. Now, if you've got a criminal record here or in your home country, we're going to give you 3 months to get your stuff together and get out. Now, after that, you're going to get arrested. Okay. That's just, it's the way it's got to be. We got to be a country of borders. We got to be a country of laws. Now, also, part of the equation that we're not addressing is there's business owners that are hiring illegals, paying them lesser than a living wage, or certainly less than they would have to pay an actual American citizen. And they are treating them less than. They have no benefits with their employment. They're taking advantage of these folks, and they have almost zero repercussions when they get caught. That ends now. Any business hiring illegals is going to be shut down. You are done. You are out of business, period. And the ownership is going to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Ignorance is no longer an excuse. Well, they had a fake ID. We're done with that. Do a better job of vetting. Take some responsibility from the employment side of the equation. Our border will remain solid, defended, and impenetrable so we can thrive as a sovereign nation. Boom. Do you know what I just did? I just fixed immigration. You're welcome. Jim Motes from the Building and Becoming Show just fixed immigration. Call the president. Doesn't seem that hard, everybody. And as I was putting this together, I thought, I know there's going to be people that have huge, huge problems with what I laid out, and I just can't imagine what they'd be. This seems to make sense to me. But I'm ready. Let's go. Come on with the comments. Engage with the show. Let's see what you guys have. All right, next. Ready to move on? Situation with Iran. So first off, I've been told it's not Iran. Okay, it's Iran. All right, say it how you want. Okay. So I'm old enough to remember when I was a kid, the hostage crisis where Iranians took several Americans hostage. There were hostages there for over a year. And they took over the American embassy, and there was a botched rescue attempt by President Carter. It just wasn't a good season in our nation. So Iran has been a problem on the world stage, a threat to freedom-loving people, a threat to Jewish people, a threat to Christian people around the globe. Their threats have resonated for decades. Years of appeasement and weakness has done nothing but emboldened this violent and oppressive regime. Now, President Obama thought, hey, I have a great idea. I'm going to load up $1 billion in American currency, in cash, green money cash. I'm going to put it on pallets and I'm going to fly it over to Iran and I'm going to give it to them. That happened. Look it up, do the research, question me on it. It's fact. Okay? He was wrong. Spoiler alert. Biden believed that looking the other way, burying our heads in the sand might work, and just asking them to please not pursue nuclear weapons and stop with the hateful rhetoric, well, that'll probably work too. Nope, didn't work. So let's fast forward to President Trump. He and Israel's Prime Minister, Bibi Netanyahu, see, I feel like I can call him Bibi now. They understand that as long as Iran is believed to have slight leverage because of the ability to enrich uranium, the world is at risk and peace in the Middle East is nothing but a pipe dream. So, guess what they did? They drew up a strategy. A plan is then put in place and a strike is ordered. decisive, absolute, fierce, and complete. Now, at the time of this recording, and after 12 days, Iran and Israel are in a ceasefire. Iran's ability to wage war, enrich uranium, and even threaten the world is eliminated. Peace in the region is now possible and even a likelihood. That's a peace that will likely last for generations, our children's children, because of the actions of the last month or so in the world. Our children's children are going to know a different Middle East without the constant turmoil that's been going on for centuries. Right now, we're living in a moment that is important historically as any in history. Bold leadership, fearlessness, courage, and steadfast action. Boom. Peace in the Middle East is achieved. Look at this. We're just solving problems right and left. So, how are the two issues we've discussed connected? How many thousands of bad actors who wish to harm us entered the country over the last 4 years? I don't know. I'm going to say more than none. And that puts us at risk here in the homeland from those bad actors who can act as proxy warriors for Iran, Al Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, any foreign national with an axe to grind against the strongest and best country on the planet. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to prepare and we're going to deal with that as needed, right? So I keep the solocast pretty short, okay? I made my points. I want to engage with you guys and continue the conversation, but I want to finish with this. How America responds to immigration, it reflects our values and our leadership on the global stage. Okay, everybody's watching. All right. The balance between national security and what is a humanitarian responsibility, it's complicated, okay? But we have to figure out how to achieve that. That balance is crucial. The role of leadership in addressing these issues with clarity and compassion is also crucial. Clarity and compassion, right? I encourage you all to stay informed, get involved, and I want you to advocate for solutions that align with your values. If you want to go out in the streets with a sign, go out in the streets with a sign. But I encourage you to be actively seeking out solutions. Have open dialogue. Talk to your friends and those in your spheres of influence about their thoughts. Nobody wants good people arrested and tossed out of the country. But we also need to have a country where law and order reigns. We need to have borders that will allow us to thrive as a nation and be the preeminent superpower in the world. This isn't just about borders or battles. Ultimately, it's about who we are as a people. We're not Democrat and Republican and Christian and atheist and Jewish, and we are Americans. Let's focus on we're Americans first. Let's focus on an agenda that is America first. We need leadership, empathy, and action in shaping our future. So I'm going to leave you with one thought to ponder. And we're going to get out of here and get you on with your Tuesday and the rest of your week. What kind of world do you want to build? Let's just say that all of these questions, all the problems were thrown on your table. You're now the solution person. What kind of world do you want to build? What would you do? Yelling and screaming? Calling one side idiots, one side stupid, one side zealots and Nazis? No, it's probably not going to do it. What would you do? We have an opportunity to rebuild the world, and it starts with building our worlds. And I know for me and my house, we're serving the Lord and we're chasing after personal excellence. I encourage you all to do likewise. Until next time.